Hey, this is AJ with Blackhawk Bushcraft. I'm losing daylight. I wanted to quickly come out and do a very brief video and talk about Firestills. And the reason why is because there's two different types of Firestills that you need to be aware of. You've got the Swedish Firesteel or the Our Metal Firesteel. These ones traditionally come out of Tribacher industry. I'm not sure where Light My Fire sources theirs. My guess is it's the Austrian made blanks, and then they pretty them up, put a handle on them, and sell them in a kit like this. And you also have the Mischmetal or the softer Chinese metal rods, and these are pretty much a dime a dozen. Many different brands. Bayite is a really popular one, but yeah, the really soft ones. And so the difference between the two is hard Swedish steel versus soft Mischmetal. There's pros and cons to each. In my opinion, they both work great. I'm not here to sell you to use one or the other. I'm just going to share my opinion on both and which I prefer. I will tell you right now, out of the two, I really like the Light My Fire brand. I prefer the harder Swedish steel because I feel that it gives me much better control versus the softer type, which gives you really big hot molten gobs, but you really have to use more pressure, in my opinion, than what you have to use on these. And I'm just going to show you what I mean. So I usually will pick these up on Amazon around the holidays. They'll usually sell these for around 12 bucks a piece. Again, these, I think I picked these up for anywhere between $5 to $7. So not a big difference. Both of them work great, as you will see, but this is what I wanted to show you. If I can stop hitting the camera. Okay, so I've got some cotton balls. We'll fluff some of these up and use them, and use my trusty knife. So with the Mischmetal rods, when you're striking, you really have to control and pull back, and as you can see, you get really big gobs. I wasn't planning on that. Let's go ahead and put those out. As you can see, they shoot enormously big gobs of molten Firesteel. But you really have to bear down. So this is what I'm talking about. If I try to do this controlled with little scrapes, as you can see, you get no sparks coming off of this rod at all. Not even at the tip. Okay? You really have to strike it hard and throw it off. And so typically, if you're going to do a tinder like this using a Chinese ferro rod or the softer type, you need to really hold your knife and then pull back and try to control your where you're throwing your spark. Makes it a little bit more difficult, but as you can see, not that difficult. And again, I'm not here to sell you on one or the other, just to share my opinion. This is why I like the harder Swedish type Firestills. Okay, use my same knife. You see that? I can get so much better control just with the tip of the knife. I can go slow. And the harder type Swedish Firestills, they give you that type of a benefit so that you don't need to really pull back on the rod and use a lot of pressure. You can just really control it, as you will see here. I'm just going to use this. There you go. See? That is why I like Swedish Firestills or the harder Our Metal out of Tribacher industry. I think they give, at least for me, they give me much better control. And not that the Chinese ones, again, are bad, but I will do this all day, and all it does is scrape shavings of Firesteel. There we go. Finally, it did it. But you usually have a tendency, it'll just scrape, and you'll have your shavings that will come off. You have to really, there we go. Yeah, great Firesteel, but definitely not the control that you get on these. You can just go really slow not a lot of pressure. They just work really, really well. So anyways, just wanted to give you a quick demonstration. Carry a Firesteel. Again, it really doesn't matter which one. Practice with both. If you've never used a Swedish Firesteel or Light My Fire brand, you really got to give it a try. This is my preferred, but I do carry these as well. It really doesn't matter. Again, I keep repeating myself, but you know, you'll see here you get these little ridges, which I've heard, oh, it's because you're striking too hard or your technique or blah blah blah. No, it's not. It's because it's soft. And so whenever you're taking a hard ridge and you're trying to scrape off material, you're going to have a tendency to put ridges in the metal itself. You do not get that problem with a harder Swedish Firesteel because it's a harder formula, and so it's more forgiving. You don't have to use as much pressure, you don't need to have as much leverage. But where you don't get the benefit is this, is you get very fine hot white sparks, whereas on the Chinese type you get really hot molten gobs that will just bounce around everywhere. So anyways, that's what I just wanted to share with you this evening. Thanks so much. Like and subscribe. Please leave your comments. Let me know what you prefer. Do you prefer the Chinese Mischmetal rods? Do you prefer the harder Our Metal rods? Why? Does it really matter to you? Again, it doesn't really matter to me, but if I were to pick one or the other, it would be the Swedish Firesteel. Take care. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.